shadow on the wall that looks like a man. Lord, that lamp just moved on that stand. I got movement in the cellars, I got footsteps in the hall. There's no time to waste, I better make some calls. I gotta get ready, make everything right, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. Hey, round up the team, let's get started. Hey, this is Brother Mine. There's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. This old house has a long history. It should be real good for activity. And we got the house wired for sound and got motion alarms setting all around. Got a box full of batteries ready to go, and everyone's itching to start this show. Got our logo tees, driving black SUVs, and that one bald guy with a slick goatee. Let's get started. Hey, this is Brother Mine. Well, there's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. Hey, round up the team, let's get started. Hey, this is your big brother Mike calling. There's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. That's right. Go get 'em, boys!
And welcome everybody to PEMA.
Welcome to PEMA TV.
And as you can see, we're actually on TV.
February 15th, 2013. Happy anniversary to our daughter and son-in-law.
Yes, they have been
5
there.
years today.
Really?
Yes.
Just seems like yesterday.
No, it really didn't.
Yeah, there's that. Lots of good stuff going on. Don't forget, got 2 major events coming up with the network.
March 23rd.
We will be at the Texas Paranormal Unity Fest.
2013.
Walt Garrison from Storage Wars, Texas will be there auctioning off a $1,000 coffee cup.
Who I am personally stalking until he drops the price on that coffee cup.
Robyne Marie,
Hi!
David Roundtree, Tracy Ray, the guys from Fort Worth Paranormal, Ken Gerhardt. I'm not sure if it's Joe Kudo or Kelly Kale that's going to be there, but one of the guys from the Skeptical Edge will be there. They may both be there. I don't know. Unknown Paranormal, which is here in East Texas, which we need to send a very serious
thank you.
Woo, and thank you for letting us go out with them last weekend on an investigation. It's really good to kind of get our feet wet again. But don't forget, March 23rd, Waxahachie
and if you notice,
Civic Center.
Our pictures are up there.
Yeah, we'll even be there. We'll even be there.
And that is what the coffee cup is going to have a picture of that he's trying to charge me $1,000 for.
Well, you're gonna actually have your picture on a coffee cup. That's big time.
I know. I'd be important and stuff.
Well, we spare no expense here at PEN.
Yeah.
As you can see from the 35-year-old television that we're actually using. There is that.
Yeah, when we get done, I'm going to draw my own little stick figure on a styrofoam cup, and I got my picture on a coffee cup again.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Well, see, I could do that because I'm narrow-shouldered. It'd be easy to do a stick figure with narrow shoulders. Anywho,
May 3rd and 4th.
We will also be at the Lure Catskills Paracon
at the Shanley Hotel and the neighboring
Shakawanik.
No, Shawangunk Valley Senior Center.
Well done.
Right across the street.
Well done. You can go to penevents.webs.com for all your ticket information. Sponsor packages are still available. Really reasonably priced packages for the rooms. You better hurry. The rooms and the tables are selling out, folks. You do not want to be caught where you can't get one.
And we have Mary Gasparo, John Tinney, David Roundtree, Tracy Ray, Athena Veronis, Deborah Heinecker, Steve Wilson, Betty Comerford, and Patty Zachis, all as speakers. And then we have some lovely vendors, such as our guest this evening, Hooch, I will mention at the end, James McCabe, D-Dub, Sarah Harris Foundation, and tonight, Robyne Marie. We love Robyne.
Tracy Ray is also going to be doing a gallery reading too. Well, you can purchase tickets for that there too. Very rare opportunity. She doesn't very rarely does, or has never done a gallery reading like this. So this would be
her first gallery reading.
Yeah. But like Ken just said, because I screwed up a minute ago, our guest tonight is the lovely and vivacious Miss Robyne Marie. Robyne, how are you?
Hello, my dears.
Robyne's like, I'm so sick of you people this week, I can scream.
I'm back again.
I have to talk to those two. Yeah. How have you been since Monday?
Well, I had a lot to do. We had some wonderful things going on. We had Mardi Gras. We had Ash Wednesday. A lot of turns are happening in the Catholic Church right now. And we have Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to you.
Thank you, and to you, and you look lovely in red.
Thank you.
Well, when Kim and Mary were talking with you earlier in the week, you guys did some photo screening, and I know we're not doing that tonight, and I know that.
She was amazing. Oh my God.
Right. Are you ever gonna get used to those OMG moments?
I'm not sure that I ever will. I mean, after this many years of doing it in my life, it just, to be validated, it just means everything. You know, it's like hitting the lottery.
And we inundated, we flooded this woman with pictures. We sent her 25 pictures, and she was like, bam, 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 bam. She was on every one of them.
Yeah.
And even stuff
to say.
Even stuff we had forgotten about until I had to shut my mouth for a little bit and actually think about it. She was picking on stuff we forgot about.
Right. And I mean, that's amazing. And like you said, that's a very rare. You would think that would be a more, I don't want to say popular talent, but you would think it would be more prolific than it is.
No, you know, this is my claim to fame. Right. I'm the only one out there doing it.
Well, what I mean is other psychic. I'm standing back from the situation. I'm kind of surprised more people don't at least make the claim to be able to do it, whether they can do it or not.
Right. I was going to say, a lot of the psychic junkies all of a sudden get the psychic, you know, I'm a wonderful psychic and I must be out there. I'm surprised more, like you said.
Most psychics that I meet don't even understand what it is that I'm doing. Right. They assume that I'm reading the subject, the person that's in the picture.
Right. But you're actually looking at the background. You're not actually
I'm
watching,
physically, clairvoyantly seeing apparitions going through the pictures.
But I mean, you're not just sitting there staring at the person going, okay, now tell me the story. It's the whole picture. It's not just whatever's specifically targeted in it.
Right. It's not the subject. In fact, I do it from pictures with nobody in it, as we demonstrated Monday night that, you know, this is a field of grass, and the apparitions are walking through. They're coming out of plants and trees and things like that. So,
is it draining?
It can be. I think when I do the police cases in the same fashion, you know, and I'm allowing the spirit to actually step into me, and I go through remote viewing and everything, that's very draining.
Yeah, I would think that, you know, I know most people, because it's almost, it's a form of channeling almost, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it mixes so many different, like, I don't want to say genres of psychic ability, but so many different areas, everybody kind of, it kind of uses several all at one time.
Oh, yes, it uses all of my senses. And just think, taking somebody who has died from a heart attack and how traumatized they may be, and they instantly put that into your body, you are feeling and experiencing all of that. So you have the headache, you have heartache, you have the pain in the arm, you feel fainting. You also feel sadness that you can't get to family or communicate. So, you know, there's a whole gamut of emotions that come about from these things.
Right. And it does take time to get used to dealing with that, too, I'm sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm surprised we didn't put her in a coma on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I was just sitting back here just because there's stuff that I knew from those pictures that there's no way you could have possibly known.
No.
No. So I'm, you know, kudos, bravo to you, my dear. You did lovely.
Thank you.
On the last four.
It's rewarding in a sense, because I know a lot of times people want to find out more information. It's really necessary, especially on particular, you know, unsolved crimes and that sort of thing. And to be able to give correct, validated information to you, that means so much to me.
Yeah, and I'm sure when it comes to those other cases, the police cases, it's helping the family cope too.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Mary says the Shanley picture with the happy birthday and the Gettysburg with the Comstock still has her in OMG.
Yeah. I didn't even know what a Comstock was.
Yeah.
Well, and we had both forgot that particular picture, we were up there for Mr. Shanley's birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was just sitting back here producing the show, going, "Wow!" And I don't have many moments where I get amazed like that. But I was just like, I felt, to be very honest with you, I felt privileged to witness it. To be very honest with you, because
it's fun. It's very entertaining, and you know, I do this at gallery style readings. I do this at on stage for hundreds and hundreds of people in the audience. And I'm able to put up the photo so they can follow it along like we did on your show.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's such a powerful, it's one thing when somebody goes in for a reading and it's a total auditory exchange, between the reader and the person getting the reading. But it's something entirely different when they can, when you can look at the picture and you start explaining things and feelings that you're getting. People, it almost would jumpstart their empathic abilities too, to a certain degree, because they're going to start seeing or feeling, hopefully, the impressions that you were getting.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Like I said,
it can be very interactive.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she throws out certain little things, and I mean, it's not the overall picture, it's just little bits that are like a slap on the head going, wow. And then we're sitting there on screen trying not to react.
Yeah. I did try to click back on them every now and again just so everybody could see they're both going.
Well, and what's different is when I do a reading, or any psychic does a reading, they'll say, is it your aunt? And then you say, no. And they'll say, well, is it your cousin? Is it this or that? They have to have validation as they go through, and myself as well. But with photo scrying, I'm giving you the full written report before you told me anything. You're just handing me a naked photo.
Right. And like you said, you send us everything you come up with ahead of time.
Yes.
And
so it's time stamped.
And
you can see everything before I even confronted you or I got any response from you. It's not like I'm reacting off of anything you would have said, or there's nothing. It's done and over with when I get back to you.
Well, that's like Kim and Mary never saw it Monday. I was the only one privy to the information.
Yeah, we never saw the information, so we had no idea what was going to be said either.
It just helped with them both going.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, their jaws were on their chest for quite a bit.
It was so quiet. I thought I was wrong through the whole thing.
No, and it takes a lot. I mean, a whole lot to really surprise me.
Yeah.
And for me to shut up, kudos to you, because very few people can do it.
And I will validate that comment right there. But how and I know we've asked you this before, but I'm a soul learner and I'm repetitive, so I'm going to ask it again. How did you learn to deal with this and control this energy? Because I mean, this is not something. If this was something that people just accidentally turned on one day, oh my God,
as you know, I've had my gift since I was 4 years old.
Right.
My family says even before that. But finding out about photo scrying was done quite accidentally through another medium who was trying to catch me. This was a setup. And she wanted me to read a person that was in the photo. And it happened to have been Patrick Burns, who, this is so many years ago, I had no clue. I mean, obviously, when you see me in person, I look a little bit different than maybe, a very fancy photograph that I have or something you see me in on TV. So he just looked kind of disheveled, just an ordinary day in his life. And I had no clue that it was him. And the spirit was walking behind him. So, I mean, even if I did know who he was, nobody knew of this story about Patrick's brother passing many years ago. And, he keeps that very private. So I had no way of knowing anything like that. And the detail that I got out of it from his brother who had passed, with the name, everything was in there. So I passed it on to her, and she nearly fell off her chair.
Well, that's what she gets for trying to be sneaky.
And that's what she got.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized I had tapped into something that was so different. And of course, for entertainment's sake, I like to give the audience something that's a little bit different and unique. And I like them to exercise it after I do an audience and I put my back to them. I don't even see them, and I have the photos up on a screen. And so then I turn around and I get them to go home and maybe try this. And I worked with a child, in fact, who was the son of somebody that I do readings for regularly. And I got him to try it. And he got something that was absolutely correct in what I had seen.
That's cool.
So, yeah, and he's only like 8 years old. So people have to be able to do this other than me.
Right. Well, and I guess the point of my question was is if this was something that like this boy has you as a mentor, he's blessed in that way. But there could be somebody that might not know that they have the ability to do this, and they can open. Let's say they go to, I don't know, somebody's house that's into the Civil War, and they have a very large, nice coffee table book of the Civil War, and you're just waiting for them while they're getting coffee, and you happen to flip open this book to some traumatic scene. This ability could be very traumatic for somebody in that way if they weren't prepared for it and or had never heard of it. I mean, it can scare.
Very much so, and that's where if you're going to do any kind of a reading, you need to study with somebody that does these things. You really should, because presentation is everything. I can't go into someone's home, and believe me, I do see things that, I see photos up there, and I'll say, or I'll think to myself, that's the grandmother. Mm-hmm. And she's next to the father that's in the picture, and, I see all sorts of things. And I ask people, would you like me to tell you something? I don't just hit them over the head with it. Okay, now what if that was a missing person?
Right.
For example, that could be very crushing information to just hear, out of the blue like that. And I see psychics do that. And, this is where I'm very happy that I got to work and study in Salem, because these are people that have done it for hundreds of years. And there's a great deal of ethics that comes along with it and how to present these things.
Presentation is everything, because I've had accidentally a psychic decide she was going to read me and then argued with me when I told her she was wrong.
I try not to, I put some of the letters on my website because people actually send me apologies a year later or so when they find out that what I told them was true. Sometimes, and it's not just me, but other psychics will tell you something that is so far-fetched. I mean, you don't know what's coming tomorrow. You really don't.
No.
And if we can give you a little insight, a window into what will be there, it just seems so unusual to you, something that may be entirely different than the norm of what your life path is on.
No, I understand that. She was sitting there telling me I was an alcoholic. And I'm like, no, I don't drink, and if I do, it's very rarely and very little. Oh, no, you're an alcoholic.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not. The person that I was wanting her to get in contact with was, but she insisted it was me.
Oh.
And I kept telling her, no, I'm not. Oh, yes, you are. Why don't you just admit it?
Yeah,
really?
the information crossed with who that went to.
Right.
But she just wanted to argue, and I'm like, I'm done.
No, I wouldn't argue about something like that, but
I mean, I can understand, something that may happen or something that may have been forgotten. But she's like, you're drunk.
Read one of the, I know, that's terrible. Read one of the letters on my website, though, and this is the good thing about that, is I stick to my guns, because I know what I'm right. And perhaps she felt she was in that time, but when you're dealing with a person sitting right across from you, that's different. We have to question it if it goes to spirit. We don't know them personally. You know their past. But if it's about you, oh my goodness, no, that was way off.
Well, and she was one of these, I kind of questioned her to begin with. She seemed like a fisher, fishing for information at the time. Yeah. And it was actually on a radio show. And I'm sorry, you don't argue with people on a radio show.
No. Well, I'm sure she'll be around a long time doing this successfully.
We can only hope.
Yeah. Either that or she'll start smoking 4 packs of cigarettes a day and get that voice.
Yeah.
No dig it, nobody there.
Well, I have seen recently you posting all over the place about parties and...
Yeah. What's up with that?
Yes. Well, I'm trying to stay a little closer to home these days, and just for the time being, and given the weather and all of that. So, the parties are wonderful. I can do anything from seance, of course, to taking individuals into a private room to do readings for them. And what's really fun, I do the same thing when I go out to a gallery reading, is I try to make it very entertaining. And a lot of times I'll bring an investigator along with me, and usually somebody that's very competent in the field, people like Carl Johnson, Dina Pellezzini, people like them, and they kind of talk to the people in the room as I pull them out individually to give them private messages. And we do everything from the photo scrying. I do psychometry, which is very good, and that's taking an object, say a piece of jewelry that maybe your grandmother wore for years, and so I wear it, and I keep it on me for a few hours, and I tell you what I got from it. That's cool. A lot of fun. I do all different styles.
I've always been very curious, Robyne, what your, I don't want to say opinion, but what are your feelings when it comes to like crystals? Not so much crystal balls, because I know it's still just a focus object for the reader because they need it to focus their abilities. I understand that. But do you have any feelings or opinions about crystals and their, I don't want to say supposed abilities, but the abilities that have been given to them over time?
Like I'm addicted to citrine. Yeah. I just got a new citrine ring.
As we know, just the same as in paranormal investigations, that certain materials actually hold a, almost a recording of sound. It holds memories. It's made of different compositions, so that's a factor. Some stones have more water compositions, some come from sand and such, and so these things help play back these memories and recordings. They conduct energy, so the spirit can work through them. And I'm an absolute crystal addict. On my setup, on my table, and I think you've seen me at Scarefest, I have crystals all around me that I've collected from all around the world that people have given me. So they're given out of love. And so they're very positive. And I take my little friend crystals with me every place I go.
That answers my question.
Well, you hear that, Mary? We found our crystal expert.
Yeah. So... But, yeah, definitely, and keep them in your house, And I like crystal ball, and that is something that I probably did before 4 years old. My grandmother used to wear great big pins of rhinestones, very elaborate pins, and so she would hold me in her arms, and kind of rock me to sleep and everything. And I would always look at the pin while she was rocking me, and kind of let my eyes go out of focus. And I was scrying at 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah, and that's where the connection would start, and it's
yes. Sincere. I looked up at her and I said, "I see your mother." See, I didn't know who that was. She was long gone. This is my grandmother's mother.
Right.
Fortunately, all my great grandmothers lived long enough for me to know them.
That's wonderful. Well, we live a lot longer nowadays.
Women in my family don't die.
They don't. They really don't.
My last grandma just passed away at 97. My aunt's 98. Her sister lived to be 105.
That's wonderful.
My great-grandma lived to be 1 day short of 100. So we don't die. If you don't drink, you don't die.
Yeah. Overall, we have a lot of longevity in my family, so... In fact, I do have one aunt that was 106.
Yeah, my Aunt Mary was 105.
Yeah. Do you think that with the connection that you have, there's no way you could ever stop doing what you do, is there?
I'm very bold about what I say about this, but God's given me a gift, and anybody else who has this, and certainly my other gifts, the artistic things that I do, and I feel as though it's like slapping God in the face if I don't use that. And I'm not always 100% sure of how I'm supposed to use it. That may be what's in question, if anything. But I need to be doing something with it, or otherwise I don't believe it would have come to me.
Right. Well, and the only reason I ask is we've been privileged and blessed to meet and be able to call them friends. Several people that have a very strong connection to spirit, God, whatever you want to lay on. I don't want to get into a vocabulary argument. But we've been very blessed with the people that we know that have very strong connection. And it's just, it absolutely blows me away how you guys, I don't want to say how you guys operate, but the fact that you guys can do this so consistently, keep that connection, and then still feel like you said that it's a blessing, and that it's like anything else. Sometimes you got to work at it, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's just flowing, and it's very.
And that's the thing. The more you practice it,
right.
If you put it in your everyday lifestyle, you don't think about it. You don't really need the tools. You don't need cards. You don't need crystals. Those things help. It enhances it. But you really just naturally, like you said, it flows out of you, and I can't help but do it all the time. So it's just another sense,
right.
Just as I breathe.
It's not so much you using the crystals that you take with you. They're your happy place.
They enhance it. I like to create a very comfortable setting for myself, and certainly the people that I work with in Salem, we set up our tables and everything for October, and we have hundreds and hundreds of people from all over the world that come and sit with us night and day. And we all have different tables, different types of settings. So I have certain crystals that I love, candles. We have little artifacts, jewelry and things that we've collected from our travels. And it brings in very positive energy, and it makes you happy.
Yeah, it's the happy place.
If I'm happy and I'm in a good space, then you're going to get a wonderful reading.
But if you watch her, Robin's aura changes when she's reading or in an event setting, as opposed to like now.
That's true.
You get a lot of purples.
My eyes do too.
Yes.
I've actually frightened people, and that's in October. They've almost lost color. So it was like looking at completely white eyes. I had no pupils. So, and that's from getting into such a trance-like state and doing reading after reading. That's 40, 50 readings in a day.
Yeah, that's like burnout, near burnout, isn't it? Yeah.
After 31 days of it, yeah.
But even we watched her at Scarefest set up. We were sitting back watching her. We were stalking her, but shh, don't tell her that. But the whole color thing just changed. It went from kind of not quite pastel, but light colors. It went into these real deep blues and purples. It's just amazing to watch it. Just the whole area just change.
I've seen it come through on photographs. It's almost like a burst of color that comes. And I think as I'm pulling in different personalities of the different spirits, it changes. It's them that's coming into me.
Well, plus, too, you have to expend a certain amount of energy to protect yourself from all of the energy that's there, because there's 10,000 people, and at least 5,000 of them are not having a good day.
That's the difficult part.
Right. Well, Robin, we have a question in the chat room from Dave from Trap Paranormal, who's actually up in the Northeast near where you are. He says he has a question for Robyne. He said, my 12-year-old daughter has the gift, but is scared to death of it. How do I ease her feelings about the gift she has?
Well, I mean, the easiest thing to do is have her study with someone. You could have someone like myself or someone else to come in and, sit with both of you and kind of be the mediator. You have to let them know that it's not like what's on television, so it's good to take them to some of these paracons and let them meet us in person and see what the reality of it is. Give them books, like my family did when I was 6-7 years old. They gave me Casey to read, and I was fascinated by it. And I began to relate to some of these people that wrote about these abilities. So give them different tools like that and let them experience it and take Hollywood out of it.
Yeah. Right. Hollywood needs to be taken out of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something that I actually talked with. I don't know if you know Brian Hornwall.
Yes.
I actually, and you're very welcome, Dave.
He was on his show last night.
He was on my show last night, Yakking with the Yeti, and I was talking with him, and he said some things that I didn't think I would ever hear a quote-unquote para-celeb ever say. Mm-hmm. The shows are not always right. Things are not always what they seem. People need to document people. I mean, he was actually, it was very refreshing to hear somebody that you didn't think would ever say those things. It was just, like I said, it was just very refreshing.
Well, and saying that a lot of the paracelebs don't deserve that title.
That's true too. But that's just all part of it. He's
No, I mean, some are brought in as actors,
right,
as opposed
correct.
to researchers.
Yeah, and he like I said, it was just very refreshing, and that makes that like warms the cockles of my furry little heart.
Narrow-shouldered little heart.
Yes.
Narrow-shouldered furry little heart. That people are finally starting to kind of turn the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just like I said. It's very good when people do actually get to meet you face to face, because they'll know. They'll know that you're.
Yes, they'll know firsthand. I want everybody to incorporate these things into their own life, day to day. So I want you to learn from me, and as I said, if it's someone in another area, I'll send you to some reputable people and try to help you find people out in your area.
Yeah, and isn't that the hard part though? Is finding somebody. Should it be somebody that he trusts, or should it? I guess that's my question. How would somebody? How would
it's
you
good to get
somebody?
A referral. I'm actually licensed, so I prefer to go with psychics that are licensed because they have a good business reputation, if nothing else. So, it's not someone that's going to rip you off or say, well, you have to pay me $500 and, I'll come by and talk to your kid. And I just think that's so wrong.
Right. Well, I mean, and just nowadays, and you know what I mean by this, especially like in the paranormal world, it's people are starting to actually charge to go do investigations. They'll charge to be able to pass over the evil spirit of the demon that's in your house, when in reality it's probably not. And
it's the spirit of the pet dog, and
right.
Oh, I heard a growl, so it's demonic.
And this firsthand, I'm sure. These people do this as a hobby. Right. You're not paying a hobbyist $500 to come and hang out in your house. You want to look into someone's background. You want proof that they've been out doing years of research. Mm-hmm. Okay, get a referral. If they can't give you a resume of some type and you can't verify some of those things on that resume, don't use them. There's millions of teams out there. Call a medium. Call somebody that works with these people.
Well, I have a lot. Every once in a while, I'll get these little rushes of people who hit me like, bam, 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 bam. I'm in this area. I need somebody. I'm in this area. I need somebody. And I have so many on my Facebook. But I always refer the ones that I've been watching over the years. It's not, oh, well, there's this new group here, take this number. It's like, okay, I'll get a hold of them first and go, okay, there's someone in your area, are you interested? But it's people I've been watching for years. I don't refer anybody that I've not paid any attention to.
Yeah. Or I've gone out firsthand and worked with them in person. So I'm able to tell you that they have a good reputation and they're not going to go in your house, and be very careful for things being stolen.
Right. Please.
And, you know, I have seen that happen more than once. And then the charging, that's just really has me disturbed.
Well,
if I could just add to listeners, if you would like to donate some gas money, if you would like to put out some meatballs, I like meatballs. If you want to put that out, share a drink with us or something, that's just common courtesy.
Right.
But don't ever feel pressured that you can't be helped because you have to put up $300 or $500 to these strangers that are walking in. You don't have to do that.
Right.
Put up a pot of coffee. We are always ready for a cup of coffee.
Mm.
And Mary is making a note to herself. She will bring you meatballs and Mary makes the best gravy.
I'm bringing pizzellis.
Yeah, the waffle cookies.
Mm.
And Patty is bringing pierogies.
Nice.
I am going to gain 900 pounds.
Yeah.
You'll still have narrow shoulders too.
Yeah, but I'm cute at it.
I know. No, I'm never gonna let that go. But that's
He is.
It's like a serious dent to my psyche about that. But that's the thing, Robin. That's one thing that we've always tried to do here at PEN is make sure people have a way or a tool to like tonight. David wanted a question about how to find somebody reputable to help mentor his daughter. You know, we've had, like Kim's mentioned, there's been several times where groups have contacted her on Facebook because of her networking.
Yes.
We always want to try to leave people with a positive message. It's not as bad as a lot of people think it is out there. It's bad in spots.
Overall, there are some really hardworking,
very caring,
down-to-earth, caring people out there.
Yeah.
There's a few tools, but there's tools in every tool shed.
Yeah.
Right.
But for the most part, and if you pay enough attention, well, maybe it's just me, but if you pay enough attention, you can pick them up. Mm-hmm. You can pick out which ones, because I can have someone, 2 blocks down and go, next town over, there's this great group.
Right.
Yeah. And like with your parties, Robin, that's the easiest way for you to touch a large group of people at one time, too, correct? I mean,
yes, yeah. And I do corporate parties as well, so we can have 2, 3, 4, 500 people.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, I'd love to see you go do some photo scrying for 300 or 400 people, because I'd love to be the one standing at the door going.
I love that.
Helping people close their mouth.
I just get such a rush.
Because that to me, that's what it's all about. Is that when you get to help people directly by passing on messages from the other side.
Yes.
And information.
And usually on stage I do the psychometry as well.
Yeah, but you also ignite that fire in people too. You also let them know that, hey, this is in you too. That's that to me is that's an amazing thing.
I just love to be able to go out into the audience and I hold their hands and I feel their emotions, and I want them to interact with me. So it's a wonderful setting because they can ask me questions. And I just love when people look at the photo that I have up, photos like you sent me the other night. And they say, but where do you see them? It's not physically in the picture. It's not a picture of something or somebody. And it's really fun explaining that and getting them kind of hyped up about it. So I hope they'll go home and think a little bit more about that. And certainly making that first-hand connection with spirit.
Well, the one that really got me was the first time you photo scried for us with Sammy Joe again.
Yeah.
You're like, this lady just keeps going on about Sammy Joe. What is this? What is this? What is this? And I said, because when we're all outside, my cat is sitting in the kitchen sink screaming out the window.
So
and my
obviously
cat's
the cat
name
was
is
not in the
Sammy
picture.
Joe. So apparently the lady was going, "Hey, that dumb cat's in the sink again."
Right. So the spirits tell me what they see.
Right.
I did a reading for a man, and he sent me a picture of his mother. Now I could see his mother in the picture and a little bit of the house around him. And her mother came through, this would be his grandmother, and told me that on the top shelf in his mom's closet, there was this really ugly Christmas paper that was up there, and that she was near it the other day, and she saw her taking a box that was next to it. It was so detailed. And there was a box, it was the closet, it was up on a shelf. She was there the day before I gave the reading, exactly the same time. So I go with the spirits. They take me into your home. They take me into your life and what you were doing there.
Well, right. And I mean, the picture of Mary and I sitting in front of a computer, there was no signs of a birthday party in that picture.
Oh, gosh, no.
But for you to go birthday, and then I'm sitting there doing the math because that was the picture with the completely wrong date on it.
But you had to see, or hear what I experienced was, I believe it was your grandmother. The first thing she said was grandma. And now your grandmother has passed?
All of them.
Okay.
I had four sets, so yeah, all of them.
And I never assumed that, I have people who have grandparents that are still alive that are, like you said, a little while ago, they're pushing 100 or better.
Right. I just lost my last one April last year.
Mm-hmm. So not that long ago, see? No. But she said grandma, and then she said Sam. So maybe she's on the other side with the cat, or she sees the cat here, or, whatever. And then she said, happy birthday. Really excited about it. And so I started to get a feel of her personality coming through, which is so nice.
Yeah, but like I said, that there's no way you could have looked at that picture as a normal person.
Nothing.
Not that you're abnormal, but there was no streamers or balloons or party hats or
no, there
even
was
a piece
nothing
of cake.
At all.
It was just Mary and I and a computer.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that kind of stuff makes me go, oh yeah.
I've done psychometry, and it's kind of the same thing that we did it all completely in the dark. We shut all the lights out because I like nice, soft, low lighting. But I knew these people very well. I read for them for over a year, and we shut every single light out, and we all sat there in the pitch blackness. And they handed me an object. Now, common sense, I could tell it was a watch. Mm-hmm. And I sat there and I gave them this whole long spiel about the watch. And they said, no, that's not it. And I told them a little bit more, and they said, well, no, that really doesn't go with who belongs to that item. And I went on and on. I'm saying, I'm never wrong. I'm never wrong. I'd like to say that I am sometimes, but I just never am. But let's say I get 90% right, and a few things might be off. It couldn't possibly be that every single thing is off in a reading. It never happens to me. And I was totally stumped. Well, we lit a candle, and they had the candle over there because we took a break. And, people walked around. And I heard the husband say to the wife, honey, did you give her my uncle's watch? And they looked, and they gave me the wrong watch.
Oh.
They gave me somebody else's watch. It was the father's watch. And so then it all clicked. Every single thing I said about the item I had was completely right.
Right. Well, that's like the other night. 25 pictures, and the only thing was you said pet, but you said dog, and it was a cat. But it was still a pet.
Yeah, it was still animal.
And out of 25, that's crazy, but good.
But when it comes to pets and stuff like that, much like when you're trying to decipher sometimes between male or female energy, there's some dogs that have very feline-like traits, and there's some felines that have very canine type traits.
And I have to say, maybe there wasn't a dog there at the time. See, the spirit in that structure was telling me about a dog.
Right.
Maybe a dog was by there earlier. Maybe the owners have a dog and just isn't around while you're there.
That's quite possible.
So I still believe there's a dog somewhere, and we'll find out.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
But like Eric's talking about, my dog, my oldest dog, was raised around my daughter's cats. He was basically a cat. He didn't bark.
A cat dog. Yeah.
He would get up on the back of the couch and spend hours looking out the window like a cat. He was content that way.
Yeah, and in my narrow-shouldered, very own way, I trained him how to bark, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and ruined my cat.
I ruined her cat and turned him into a dog. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just so amazing to see that connection, and then to know that you're out there mentoring. I mean, that just says a lot about you. Robyne, that just goes to show that you truly do care.
I really do. Too much sometimes.
Yeah.
And she likes us, so
I love you guys.
She's a glutton for punishment that way, but I mean,
people that are genuine, people that are just themselves. That's the best.
Yeah.
I always know what I get with you.
Well, yeah, but that's because we're too lazy to try to be something we're not.
I know how much effort goes into being fake.
Seriously, there is a lot.
I keep tons of notebooks next to my desk. But if I was going to make up who I am,
oh Lord,
there wouldn't be enough room on my desk for me to let alone those books. Because I would have to write everything down and keep track of every little thing, and it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's truly not. I mean, and you can actually see the people that are having to waste energy doing that and be that way, and those are also a lot of people that don't do conferences because they can't remember what they told this person or that person or this person. And if all three show up in front of them at one time, they just like spontaneously combust because they wouldn't know what to do. And it's just such a waste of time.
Yeah, it really is.
So with us, you see what you get. It's a
narrow shoulders and all.
It's a little sarcasm. It's a little craziness, but it's the same with you.
Exactly.
When you were on the shows before we had actually met at Scarefest, you're like, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm going to do, and if you show up, this is what I'm going to do. And when we walked up, you did exactly what you said you were going to do, and it just has been that way forever.
That's it.
Yeah.
No posers.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see you at the Shanley.
I know.
Oh, that's going to be so much fun up there.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be, being the paranormal researcher that I am, to be there and be able to go out on an investigation with John Tinney and David Roundtree and yourself and Tracy Ray all at the same time.
And Patty.
That's a once in a lifetime. That just don't happen every day. You know what I mean?
He's like.
I think the world of David Roundtree. Yeah. We go way back, and I remember when he was first experimenting with EVPs because he's a sound man, and that's going to be his thing. So you'll get some really great EVPs with him.
Well, and his thing for our Paracon is instead of his normal hour lecture or whatever, he's only taking the last 30 minutes of the night right before the investigations, explaining a few things, and then he's going to be doing some new experiments he wants to try out during those investigations.
Great.
So something completely different, and that's the way we wanted it.
Yeah.
Something not the norm, because you go to so many conventions and they're all starting to
run together. Yeah.
It's the same people. It's the same topics. It's the same. We're kind of twisting everything up a little bit just to have fun with it.
Yeah. Have you? Do you have any other than, of course, being seen here on PEN
twice a week?
Twice a week for the foreseeable future.
A regular.
Other than being seen here on PEN, and I know you do all kinds of radio shows and internet video shows. None are as good as ours, but you do them anyway, and we appreciate that. But
I always say that.
But what other major plans do you have for this year, Robyne?
I have some heavy projects, and that's why really I'm staying a little closer to home these days. And with that, I mean like going through New England and down in Pennsylvania and such. That's close to me. I am working on Haunted Highway for Sci-Fi. So there should be an episode coming out about Centralia. So that's really exciting. And it's the second season of Rest in Peace Cases. And I'm not sure where that's going to wind up, if it'll be A&E or the History Channel. But we actually do the whole series for the year, and then we sell them off to the networks. And that's with Pat Marin, has Rest in Peace. And so I am the location producer for them, because I have some really hot hidden locations that other people don't get to. And that's only because I have no life other than this. And I have a total addiction in driving around like a cat, getting into places I probably shouldn't be in. And I find some very unusual things and places that I'd like to bring out to the public and let you know about it. So she has some unusual ones that they're going to do shows on.
Yeah, it's all about letting people know and letting them have the information.
Yes. I have a couple of movies. I'm doing a commercial. That's what I was filming yesterday. So you'll see a lot more of me on TV.
She was filming that between telling Mary and I to shut up over cheesecake and behave ourselves.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't start that one, though. Mary and her Godiva chocolate started that one.
Yeah, that looked really good.
Well, other than cat pictures, what's Facebook really good for?
Frogs.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there's a lot of frog pictures, too.
I like frogs.
And I love tartar sauce. I'm just going to throw that out there. I know that cat doesn't need any more...
Grumpy cat.
Grumpy cat.
I can make that homemade, too.
Yeah, well, tartar, that's the cat's name. Grumpy cat, that's the cat's name, and it's a female. Her name's Tartar Sauce.
It is.
And I love tartar sauce. I love this because the way the poor cat looks, it's a very cynical look. So it's just, no matter where they put it in, no matter what they put on it, 9 times out of 10 I giggle at it.
You're getting yelled at by Mary now.
I'm not knocking the cat pictures, Mary. Easy. Don't come at me with my narrow shoulders. Have you do you have any suggestions for somebody? And I'm going to ask this because David asked about his daughter earlier. Because it kind of in these days and times, there are a lot more people that are becoming more, I don't want to say in tune with their abilities, but they're much more open-minded to the fact that it may happen, and that's generally the first step.
Just talking about 2012 and all of that, I think the last year, and prior to this, that there was quite a build-up, and so more people took interest in getting into spiritualism, or spirituality, I should say, and looking at, various practices. I saw that when I was in Salem, that more people were walking up to me, and they do every year, but this was much more pronounced, that people really need to come back to nature. And this is a natural inner sense that we have. And, between organized religions breaking down and fighting and everything else, and, just the changes geographically that are happening here, people are coming back to a time that they need something to hold on to in their life. And they're looking for different ways of doing that.
Right. Well, that was my question was how would you help? What's the best suggestion that you could give somebody that's
read everything that you can get your hands on, everything. Please contact people like myself and others in the field. Go to trainings. We all, well, not all of us, but some of us teach classes about development. I even teach paranormal investigators how to work effectively with mediums and sensitives on their team. So that's an important piece. And then connecting with spirit. I mean, you don't have to be a medium. You don't have to be a psychic to be able to do this and feel connected. Maybe you just want to sit in your house and communicate with your family and call grandma in or call your father in the past. And so you can do that. And we can give you tools and exercises on how to develop that for yourself.
Well, and I found that a lot of the psychics that are sincere. If you have a problem, a question, go to them, they have no problem helping you out. It's the ones that aren't quite up and up that will, well, you know, if you want to go to my website and pay the $250 for the next 10 minutes, I'll be glad to let you know.
Yeah.
Or for $500, I'll take that curse that you have on you.
Yeah, and I'm not saying full readings, but I'm saying if you have a problem and go, hey, Robyne, what's going on here? She'll go, well,
yeah, and please use your common sense.
Right.
Yes.
You know, or ask somebody. As I said, if maybe you find a psychic or somebody down in your area that you think is okay, give me a call. Let me check it out, behind the scenes, or do a little digging for you and see if things check out. You know, get somebody that's licensed. Right. That's a sure way.
I'm just saying, people much like yourself have no problem if someone seriously has a problem helping them out. It's the ones that aren't quite above board who will say, well,
first off, they have nothing to say to you.
Right, but they still want you to use the PayPal button before they will not say it to you.
Yeah, and you can't do that. And I do have so many people that contact me. There's times I have to say that if they want to take up a lot of my time.
Right.
I answer a lot of hundreds and hundreds of questions for people. And I do that in person as well as online. So I do try to help as many people as I can. You can't possibly do it day after day. No. You know, some people, there's no end to it. Well, and they keep draining you.
Well, my point is, like, say, Mary and I were here and saw something really weird, and we just want you to look at it real quick.
Yeah.
We're not asking for full readings. We're not saying, you know, we want the next 12 hours of your life.
An educated opinion.
It's just, hey, what do you think?
No.
But you guys have no problem with that. Others would say, yeah, you hit the PayPal button and then send it to me.
Then they're actors.
Right. Those are the kind of people you got to be aware of.
I agree.
Yeah. We don't do
you can look really cute in front of a camera. But do you do the research? Are you out there in the field? Now, you know, I'm sorry, Mr. Narrow Shoulder guy, you know, talking about Bigfoot and all of that. I was out with somebody, and this about a year ago, and it was pretty darn cold out. Now, people that go chasing Bigfoot and all of that, they go up over fences and walls, they climb trees, they go through mud, they go out in the cold, they go out in the heat. And this guy, who's from television, said, I'm not going out tonight because it's chilly. And we had people that wanted to go out with him. So, I mean, we all wound up in our hotel rooms. And I thought, you know, can people really back up what they say they are?
Right.
He was really good looking on TV. You know, and he's a nice person, you know, and I'm just using this as example. I'm not singling anybody out here.
No, we completely understand.
But even if it's a psychic or anything, you know, sit down and do a reading for somebody. You know, if somebody is really in need and I walk up to them and I know that they're searching for something, I'll take them aside and I'll give them a little bit. If they want to do a full reading afterwards, that's fine. That's their choice. Mm-hmm. But I try to answer their question, you know, and, you know, Dave in the room here, he wants to know more for his daughter. And after the show, if he wants to either email me or if I have a few minutes, I'll let him know how to go about that.
Yeah. Well, I told him to go to your website and go to your contact page.
Yeah.
I'm good.
We should all be learning from each other.
Yes.
Yes.
And
yes, ma'am.
And anybody within the sound of my voice who is going to the Lower Catskills Paracon, Robyne has this book. You have to get the Harvey boat. Show up, say, I want to buy this book right here. Robyne, sign it. Yeah.
Yes, I'll sign it for you.
The Harvey book.
And, you know, that's a very good tool for children, too. Now, it's a children's story, but it's inside an adult book. The topic is about automatic writing, and that's connecting with spirit. but it's a children's story. And so if you use this book to give to a child that's looking for development, this is a very gentle way of letting them know that they could sit and write. They can doodle. They can do things like that and let their mind wander. And it will help them with meditation.
Hear that, Dave? Get the Harvey book. The Harvey book.
Yeah, the Harvey book.
And you can go to RobyneMarie.com. They're all available there.
You want the book. I know you want the book.
Yeah.
Book. But Robyne Marie will be at our booth, at our Paracon. She does have a booth, and she will be selling her lovely books and being her lovely self. And you people don't want to miss this.
No.
So get your tickets, show up, and say hello to the lovely Robyne.
Yes, bring your photos. Bring lots of photos.
Dave said he will buy the book.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go, Buckaroo. Even though you're narrow-shouldered, too.
You know, you're narrow-shouldered. I have wide shoulders.
It's just the pants.
Shut up. That's me.
Robyne, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you. I love the two of you. I love your show. You have such a great network and a great lineup of shows that are on here. And I always tell people to come over and check you out.
Do you have a website or something you want to throw out for your parties that you're throwing?
Oh, yeah. Yes. And for all my appearances, you can look on my calendar, and it's at RobyneMarie.com. And Robyne is ROBYNE. I'm currently playing on my ghost story. I'm going to be on Haunted Highway, as I said, and I have a couple of movies and things that I'll be in. So please look on my calendar, and I will update it as we go.
Awesome.
And you can find her on Facebook. You can find her on her website.
Every social site you can imagine, I'm there. With cat pictures.
And we'll bring the cheesecake.
Yep.
Yes.
And he said he's going there after the show to your website. So yay.
Wonderful.
Who you got coming on Monday?
This Monday we have, if she's still in the room, Debbie Blue.
Oh, am I on again?
No.
Oh,
not Monday. Not Monday.
Oh, no,
Just
this
kidding.
Monday we have Cindy Leidick from Old South Pittsburgh Hospital.
Near and dear friend there.
Save the hospital. She's having some issues. We need to save that hospital. That is a great research location. Next Friday we have Debbie Brannon
Yes.
from Arizona.
Mm-hmm. Debbie's awesome.
She is. But with that, we got to skedaddle.
We got to get out of here.
Say something.
Something.
Smart aleck.
Good night, Mary. No. Good night, everybody. And if you go out, if you're researching this weekend, be safe.
Thank you, Robyne.
Thank you so much. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye, guys.